Good morning, guys. We are doing a leadership development training over the next week and a half. And so I am going to do my run through for you guys. And if you have more questions, I'm going to see if I can set up the slideshow for you to see. But this is leadership development. It's a training that I'm doing over the next week and a half. And I'm setting up for that. Now, you know what? I'm going to go off and go back on because I want to make sure that this is, let me see something. Nope, okay, so we'll be back on. We'll be back on in 2 seconds. Hold on 1 second. Okay, I'm back, guys. I am back. Just wanted to make sure my settings were correct. We're gonna get the tripod. So again, we are conducting a leadership training. And this can be leadership at work. This can be leadership in your business. Hopefully you guys can see the slides. I'm gonna try to set it back far enough for you to be able to see it. If not, then I will put the actual slideshow up on miaverde.com and we will go from there. So let me get set up here, give you guys a chance to come in. How's everybody doing this morning? Again, this is my run through. So I created this training last week, and so I just want to go through and make sure everything flows. You guys have any questions, feel free. I may just run through because I'm trying to time it. It's a timing thing, and I want to start at 8 o'clock promptly. So hopefully, got my charger. We're gonna hope that my battery holds out. Can you guys see? Turn the projector on. I might have to turn the lights off, so you may not be able to see me as well, but it's not really about seeing me. You guys see me all the time. It is about seeing the slideshow. Wrong computer. You guys ever have so many? I have 2 laptops while I'm doing this project, and the laptop that I use for the boutique, which I do most of my day-to-day work on, is a MacBook. And now that I'm doing this automotive OD project, I'm using a PC. So as soon as I start my day, I'm putting in the wrong password. So passwords everywhere. I hope you guys can see. Good morning, everybody. Oh, yeah, see, it's kind of dark. So I'm gonna have to turn the lights off, guys. That better? Oh, you can actually see me better. Okay. Maybe. Looks weird. Let's see. Hopefully that works. Oh, yeah. Pretty good. It just looks weird to you guys. Hold on. I'm getting you guys set up. Oh, maybe that's better. Much better. We're gonna go to, all right, we're starting right on time, guys. This is close to my heart because I think it's important to have this. So disregard the first slide. It's just customized to the audience. If you can see it. Like I said, if you can't see the slides, I'm gonna put it up on my site, on miaverde.com, and you'll be able to see it. Oh yeah, that's not, you can see it. But I don't think you guys can see it. Good morning, everyone. Yeah, you guys can't see the slides. Oh man. Okay, so I guess I'll talk through it, since you can't see the slides. So welcome, good morning everyone. This is our leadership development course. It's Leadership Development 2 actually, and it is Leadership Fundamentals. So that's what we'll be talking about today. As you guys know, I am very informal, so if you have any questions, let me know. So I am a organizational development, a career development coach, I guess I would say for you. For corporate, the title is organizational development in corporate America. For you guys, I am a career development coach, and I also own a boutique, which is called Mia Verde the Boutique. Oh, okay, so I'm gonna get through this, and then I will go back and answer you guys' questions at the end. So I'm gonna get through this training because I want to time it, and I want you guys to get majority of this, and I have to stop at 10, so hopefully we'll get through it before that. So this is our training agenda. This is what we'll be going through, and you guys can use this for work. FYI, you can use this if you're looking for a promotion, if you're looking for something to kind of up your game and get you noticed. This helps. This really does help. So hopefully you'll be able to utilize this in your day-to-day life. So what we're going to go through today would be purpose and objectives, the reason that we're doing this training, defining your role, the heart of leadership. What does leadership really mean? Building your team. Every leader is not successful without their team, right? So every leader depends on their team. So building your team is very, very important, right? If you own a business, if you work in corporate America, whatever the case may be, even with a family, even with your own family, you're nothing without your team. No man is made to stand alone. Now, we may take accountability of what we do on our own, right? That's a different story. But as far as what living this life and getting through your day-to-day, no man can complete their goals on their own. And God created us that way, right? Because we are the body. We're not created to just stand alone. You're gonna need help at some point, and you're gonna need a team at some point in your journey, right? We're gonna go through agile goal setting, and we're gonna go through accepting accountability, okay? So purpose and objectives. Today we're gonna develop a clear sense of what success means to you as an individual and as a member of leadership. You're going to understand your role as a leader in employee engagement and building your team. That is very important. You're going to learn to drive focus by setting safety, quality, and productivity goals, and you can do that anytime with anything that you're doing. So you can apply this. I want to keep stressing that you can apply this to anything, okay? Build a competent and cohesive team that aligns with company goals and initiatives. You're going to guide your team by managing accountability. That's a big piece. And you're going to assess and analyze your own leadership character. So we have to look in the mirror and say, okay, sometimes, we like to blame the team and blame the things that we don't have available to ourselves. But at the end of the day, what is your leadership character? And we're going to analyze and kind of see where we need to make some adjustments there as well, okay? Good morning, guys. Thanks for joining. So first we're going to go over, now this is specific to this company that I'm consulting for right now. So this is the quality policy, and these are their main principles. But you have to actually go through and say, what are your defining principles? What are your life mantras, your morals, your even your goals? What are okay, I'm gonna say for the sake of you guys being individuals, because I'm training a class for a company, but you are your own company, okay? So when I say company, I mean you, the brand of you. So their principles are promoting our culture based on shared values of integrity, respect, accountability, cooperation, excellence, openness, and responsiveness. Implement improvement plans at all organizational levels company-wide. Focus on processes and systems to improve results. Anticipate, understand, and exceed internal and external customer needs. Continually improve using both incremental and breakthrough improvement methods. So that's researching, making sure that you're always updating your processes so you have the latest and greatest to keep up with trends, to keep up with what's going on in your industry, right? So what does success mean to you? This is a very important question because it is the foundation of which you drive all of your actions, I believe. And so what I want to do, this will be an activity, guys, and you don't have to do it now, but when you get a moment, I want you to really write down and take the time to think about what success means to you. I think society sometimes gives us this illusion that success is what we see in media, which is TV, you know, magazines, social media, whatever. Success is buying a house. Success is having some great big mansion, a fancy, you know, expensive car. Be married by this age, have kids by this age, and everybody's perfect, everybody's doing well. But you really have to look into yourself and say, what does success really mean for you? I may not want that. It may be for me, it's how many people, you hit the, you know what? Consistency, absolutely. You've been listening to Torre. But yes, to me, success is consistency too. Success is consistently, for me, impacting people's lives. That's success. And you know, my CEO is God, so I don't care who knows it. My CEO is God. So how many lives have I affected? How many lives have I allowed him to use me to bring his word to, or bring them to him, right? So that's success to me. So it won't matter what car I drive. It won't matter where I live. It won't matter, you know, I have my own personal goals, but those are byproducts of me doing what I know that I was created to do. So what does success mean to you? It may just mean taking care of your family because you really want that for them, right? So I'm gonna give you guys, in the exercise, it's actually made to give the participants in my training time to really discuss this, but we're not gonna do that, so I'll skip that part. So the next question is, what is leadership, right? So I wish you guys, like I said, the slides will be on the website, miaverde.com. But the heart of leadership, foundational, these are some of the foundational traits that are up on the presentation right now. And we're going to go through them. Justice, being fair to others and being seen as fair. Dependability, initiative, decisiveness, coming to a decision quickly and timely. Tact, you guys know what tact means, a skill that enables you to work with others without causing conflict, okay? Integrity, enthusiasm, nobody wants to, a leader. And remember, this is leadership. Your personality is your personality, but at the end of the day, as a leader, you have to be able to bring that enthusiasm. You have to be able, you ever came across a person who was enthusiastic and passionate, right? That's another word for passionate. Passionate about what they were speaking about, passionate about what they do. If you don't have passion about what you do, nobody else is going to follow you. Because, I mean, if you dry, I don't want no dry leader because it's going, I'm straight. So, enthusiasm, bearing. And what we mean by bearing is the manner in which you conduct and control yourself. It's your appearance, your posture, the manner that, like I said, it's your self-confidence, your self-control, right? Knowledge. At the end of the day, we can be all shiny and good looking and whatever the case may be, and we can have charisma. How many people have you seen, even social media influencers, you know, they may have great content, blah, 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 but what really is behind it? If you don't have the knowledge to make yourself an industry expert and an expert in your field, then there's nothing behind it. You won't be able to sustain your success, right? Loyalty, that's a big one. Loyalty to your team, loyalty to yourself, and most importantly, I'm going to say this because this is my Periscope, loyalty to God, making sure that he comes first, period. Endurance, now this is a huge one, guys. It means to keep going when everyone else will, you know, give up. Endurance means suffering at the end of the day. I mean, sometimes you go through whatever it takes. It's having that whatever it takes mentality to get your job done, to get your goal attained, you know? And all of these attributes must be present to qualify as a leader. But these are great for an individual contributor, right? But these are more so, everybody should have this, right? Everybody should have this. So what sets a leader apart? at the end of the day, the reality is everyone is not created to be in that top 2%, right? Top 1%, top 10%. I've seen different numbers. Point is, it ain't for everybody. So everybody cannot, is as good as it sounds, and there may be leadership traits in everyone. We all know that every last person is not a leader. So if I come in and I have all these traits, I still may not be a leader. So what makes a leader different then? So we're going to explore that. And you can kind of see this one because it's dark. So this is an iceberg. You guys see it? This is an iceberg. And like I said, the slides will be on the site. And what the iceberg theory represents is that 10% of what you see, 10% above the water represents what you see, what you can see in a person. And for the purpose of this training, it'll be your leadership skills, right? 90%, and then the other 90% at the bottom of the iceberg represents your leadership character. So for you guys' purposes, I would say 10% is what you see on the outside, 90% is what's on the inside of someone. It's at the bottom of the water. You don't know what's in somebody until you really dig down, get to know them, all of that. Same with leadership, okay? So the 90% would be what you see with someone, your skills. What can you do? Right, the 90% is what's inside you. So the top 10 would be, the top 10 of the iceberg that you can see would be, if you're at work or in your own business, it would be your gifts, the things that you can see that the public can see. Oh, she can, sing, or they do math really well, or they're things that your skills that you've learned, that you've honed over the years. But that 90% is your character, what's inside of you, your heart. Your character is who you are, your heart, what's to your core, right? It's why we do the things that we do. It's made up of your beliefs, your experiences, that plays a big part. Your experiences, your dreams, and your fears. It is the motivation behind what you do. So what skills do you guys think are needed to lead, and what character is needed to lead? So we're going to go through this. So this is, can't see it. So we're going to go over the heart of leadership. Those are the character traits that make a leader different. Okay, because without leadership character, no one cares about your skills at all. Okay, you ever met someone who was really talented, but they had horrible character? It's like meeting somebody fine, but they horrible. It's like, he fine, but he's a monster on the inside. Nobody cares. At the end of the day, nobody cares, right? So here are the things that you need for leadership, for your leadership character traits. One would be hunger for wisdom. And this is an acronym. Like I said, you can't see the slides, but it's an acronym. It's HEART. It's the heart of a leader. And this is taken from a book called The Heart of Leadership. I'll have the details for you at the end of the slideshow, but this is from a book called The Heart of Leadership, and it's an awesome book. If you want to read something on leadership, I suggest this one. So H would be hunger for wisdom. You must hunger for wisdom. This is the first thing you must have in your leadership list of character traits. Leaders are hungry to gain more wisdom daily in order to grow. Knowledge is gathered from learning and education. Because you might ask, what's the difference between knowledge and wisdom, right? Well, knowledge is gathered from learning and education. You could put that in the box with skills, right? You learn those things. While wisdom is gathered from day-to-day experiences, and it's a state of being wise. So it's application, it's judgment, right? It's how do I make the best decision based on my experiences, and knowledge is a part of it, but this is encompassed in wisdom, right? Wisdom is the practical ability to make consistently good decisions in life. The second trait would be expect the best. Leaders believe they can make a difference. They believe the best about others and themselves. So it's really being optimistic, right? And it's not, some people think optimism is burying your head in the sand and not, yep, you missed it. So the leaders do have integrity. So that's in the last slide that we talked about, but absolutely having integrity. But the optimism is what sets leaders apart, right? So your optimism is making sure that you expect the best out of people. You expect the best, right? And it's not burying your head in the sand saying, well, you're going to ignore all if there's bad signs or anything negative, but it's just saying, okay, I have my finger on the pulse of that reality, right? I'm not ignoring the reality, but what I'm going to do is focus on success instead of failures. It's your perspective of things. I'm going to win regardless. You know how Jay-Z, and I'm probably going to misquote this all day, but Jay-Z says, I don't have failures. I don't lose, because even when I fail, it's a learning experience which is going to help me win. So I don't fail. I don't lose, period. And he said something to that effect. I've been seeing it lately. So the A would represent accepting responsibility and accountability, right? Leaders accept responsibility for vision and the progress towards it, right? So they accept responsibility in failure and give praise in success. So it is very, very important to accept the responsibility when things go wrong, but praise your team and give it away when the things go right. Don't take credit for it. That's for you know what I'm saying? So don't be, well, I did this and I did that. It's actually giving away praise when things go right and recognizing that you didn't do it on your own. Let me tell you something. People will follow you to the end if they believe that you have their best interests at heart, okay? They will follow you. So, where we're at, so we've done hunger for wisdom is your desire to grow in judgment. We've done optimism, which is seeing the glass always, hunger for wisdom, you'll include the optimism, which is seeing the glass always full instead of always empty. Effort does not equal results. Sometimes having the courage to make hard decisions does not make everyone happy. It takes courage to face challenges, right? And then, so now we did the accepting responsibility. The R is responding with courage, like I just said. Leaders have passion and vision that fuels courage. Courage enables action. Action drives results, right? So, like I said, effort does not always equal results. Sometimes having the courage to make hard decisions does not make everyone happy, but it takes courage to face those challenges, right? And then the last one is with the T is thinking of others first, being unselfish. Leaders think of others first. They consider the organization and their people before themselves. This builds trust, loyalty, and retention. So you always want to think of others. And this is the same principles that God wants us to live by, is being selfless, right? That of a leader is being a servant leader. The heart of a servant leader is being selfless and not putting your needs first, your agenda first. And so that, again, people will follow you if you believe that, if they believe that you have their best interests at heart. So a leader must be authentically passionate about the people and the cause in which they serve. This is where you must assess and analyze what is truly in your heart. Do you want the heart of a leader? Do you merely want the title of one? And you might say, well, none of the managers I've ever worked for have cared about me. They just wanted me to produce the parts I needed to produce, or the quota I needed to hit, or make the sales I needed to make. But please understand, this is not the norm in America. How many bosses have bosses? How many managers, supervisors, bosses, whatever you want to call it? How many people have you ever worked for and realized, and out of that whole number, you could say, well, I probably had 2 really good managers. Well, that's because they were leaders. They had the heart of a leader, not just a title. So understand, this is not the norm. This is not the norm. And that's why this is so important, for you to be able to stand out as a true leader with the heart of a leader. And your following will be much larger because of your sincerity, right? Because of your authenticity, right? So next we're going to do, and this is an exercise that I'm not going to, you guys can do back later. You can come back to the site and then go through the exercises and kind of do the self-analysis yourself, because we're going to do in this class a SWOT analysis. So I want you to make a list. So if you guys are not Mia Verde, not a member of Mia Verde Woman, you won't know. SWOT analysis is SWOT. It's an acronym, and what it stands for is strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Okay, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So you're going to do a SWOT analysis of your heart of leadership. So for strengths, I want you to make a list of your leadership strengths. Then, and that's based on the things that we just went over, right? The character traits that we just went over. You're going to make a list of your leadership strengths, then assign each strength to one of the following categories: the H, the E, the A, the R, and the T. Next, you're going to go through your weaknesses. Make a list of your leadership weaknesses. Determine how each of these weaknesses will prohibit you from being a great leader, because it will prohibit you, okay? And we're not talking about getting a raise. We're not talking about being a promotion. This is not getting a promotion. This is not about that. This is about truly being an authentic leader. Think back to, like I said, those one or two great managers you've had in your working history that you're like, you know what, I will. If they called you right now from wherever they were, you would quit your job and go work for them because they were that good. That's a leader. That's a leader. So you're going to make a list of your weaknesses and determine how each of these weaknesses will prohibit you from being a great leader. Opportunities. You're going to write down how you can use your leadership strengths to create new opportunities for yourself, okay? Not only for yourself, for your team, for your company, for your business. So I want you to do that. And then lastly, you are going to write down how these are threats. Write down how your weaknesses will threaten your role as a leader if you do not change them. If you don't change those weaknesses. Sometimes you may get away with it for a while. Sometimes it won't hinder you as much. But the more people see the severity of your weaknesses, right, the magnitude of your weaknesses, then it will start to get in the way of your progress. And that could be the difference of your salary. That could be the difference of your relationships. That can be detrimental to the growth and you getting to, attaining your goals. So you really do want to analyze that. All right, so now we're at building your team. The importance of, so we're going to talk about the importance of employee engagement, seeing your employees as people, building trust for effectiveness, communication, and the 3I model, which is exciting, coaching and mentorship. So for the purpose of this training, we are using the term employees to refer to your direct reports, right? But if you don't have employees, then just put people. We're going to interchange the word employees and people. So employees and the people will be those who work on your team. The reason for this is to focus on your responsibility as a leader, but the bigger goal is to see your employees as people. So like I said, if you don't have people that work for you at work or in your own business, then just insert people. I'm going to be interchanging the word, okay? So you'll know that. The more you engage each employee individually, the better you will be equipped to manage them, okay? All right, so the next slide is employee engagement drives organizational results and leaders have a huge impact. This basically, just broken down, is your relationship with people. Your relationship with people will determine the results that you have, that you gain, right? That you get. So, engagement drives organizational results and leadership drives engagement. So the reason that we are focused on you today is to help you better understand your role as a supervisor driving engagement. Again, this is for more than supervisors, this is for everybody. So I would say your role as a leader in driving engagement, which may not be as intuitive as it appears. Employee engagement is crucial in driving organizational results. And I'm gonna make some notes here. Okay. Employee engagement is crucial in driving organizational results. Organizations with high engagement are more than twice as likely to exceed their goals. It also drives retention, which is a huge thing. Engaged employees have 5 times higher organizational commitment than those with low engagement. And like I said, this is just some statistics that you can see on the slides. Managers and organizational leaders have a huge impact on employee engagement. In fact, managers account for 70% of variance in employee engagement scores across functional units. So what's the bottom line? Leaders have a significant impact on their employees and on their organization. We all know that people leave organization. Maybe you don't know. I take that back. I won't take that for granted. That's a liberty I just took. It is widely known that people leave organizations because of management, not because of money. Think about it. If you have an absolutely great job, you're doing what you love to do, your team is awesome, your coworkers are awesome, but you wish you could make a little more money, right? Well, that would be a factor, but you would probably find a way to supplement your income, or maybe do more work and maybe get a promotion, something like that. But you would be more invested in that organization than you would if you had a horrible boss. Let's say you were getting paid a lot of money. You're getting paid a lot of money, but you had a horrible boss. You were stressed out. The team you were with was not cohesive. They did not work together. You didn't care how much. I am pressed to think that most people would not care. Statistics prove that most people would not care about the money. They would leave because management is awful, or because management is unorganized, or the company is not going in the direction that you are going in, right? It doesn't seem stable, whatever the case may be. So these are the stats supporting that, okay? Next, we're going to focus on trust. When you're building your team, trust is a huge factor. As the title of the slide states, all good relationships revolve around trust. Without trust, your workforce will never be engaged. Establishing trust with your employees is critical. If employees don't trust their leadership, the following can occur. So they'll be disengaged, and there will be a culture of low trust throughout the organization. A lack of trust in leadership is a problem for many organizations. So currently, according to this study that we're doing, it's an employee engagement survey, only 65% of employees trust their direct supervisor. Isn't that horrible? And the level of trust that employees place in their supervisor is getting worse, okay? Therefore, an organization with high trust can have a real competitive advantage and can lead to improved innovation and creativity. You work better when you feel good. When I like coming to work, when I love the people around me, it's a synergistic relationship, right? So you do better, you're more creative because you're not stressed out. You're not just looking at the clock or doing something just trying to make it through to get a paycheck. It's a big difference, huge difference. So if employees don't trust you as a leader, your engagement efforts will suffer. Let me see. If employees don't trust you as a leader, they will view the efforts you do make to improve employee engagement through a negative lens and see it as another way that they are being controlled. It's lose-lose, because then when you do try to do something, they'll look at it like, oh, I'm seeing it. They're going to see it negatively, right? Because you've already set this tone. You set the precedent of a negative experience for them, okay? And then lastly, employees will leave. Take it firsthand. Bye. I'll take my talents to South Beach. As I've said before, this is a day and age where people have options. There are so many options. Majority of people have them, and they don't have to put up with bad leadership. So your employees will leave. Lack of trust in management is one of the most commonly reported reasons that people leave organizations. Of 39 reasons, lack of trust was selected most often, at 5% more than the second most cited reason. And this is from the 7 Reasons Employees Leave by Leah Branham. And more often than not, it's your top performers that will leave. Now think about it. These top performers, that's why I wave my hand, because that used to be me. I knew what I was worth. I knew that I could find a job like that. The more credentials you have, like I said, top performers, the more education, credentials, knowledge, experience, you don't have to put up with crap. So they will leave. That's why I said gone are the days where people have limited options. They're sticking around for their pensions. They're sticking around for all of these benefits. Those things don't even exist anymore, right? You better roll that sucker over and they'll do something else. So it would behoove you as a business owner, as a manager, as a leader, to build your team and make sure that you foster trust and that close relationship with people, to make sure that you're working cohesively and that you're encouraging a very positive and productive work environment, okay? And then that in turn promotes retention, and it's win-win for the both of you, or for all of you. right? So next we're going to go on to another activity, which, like I said, this is just a run through. So for you guys' sake, you can do this on your own if you're taking notes. Like I said, this broadcast and the slides will be on the website. And so how can I encourage my employees to trust me will be the next activity. We're going to brainstorm what type of environment is necessary for employees to develop trust. Building trust for effectiveness. While people should not have to earn your trust, you will still need to earn theirs, right? This can be accomplished through trusting your people first and demonstrating openness. Trust shouldn't be earned for good behavior. It should be eroded for poor behavior. If you as a leader do not trust your people will not be open to the degree necessary, and as a result, they will not have trust in you, okay? So I'm saying this again, building your trust for effectiveness. Some people think, well, he has to earn my respect. Well, he has to earn my trust, he or she. And that's not true. It should be the other way around. You give it, and it can be eroded over time. It doesn't have to be earned. It should be and so many people think it's the other way around. And that's how you fall into a trap. Make sure that you give it first, and then let somebody prove you wrong. And then you'll know how to act accordingly, okay? All right, so this slide you guys can't see. Oh, maybe you can. You can see it a little. Oh, there, that looks better. Okay, so you won't see me as much, but at least you can see that slide, right? So you'll see the get up and kind of explain that. In the thought model above, the title manager can be applied to any leader that has direct reports. The dotted line around the word openness represents that you must actively connect and interact with your employees. But remember, openness isn't just about pushing information down to employees. It's about pulling it up and listening to them. I didn't mean that. Okay. So while employees should not have to earn your trust, you will still need to earn theirs. This can be accomplished through trusting your employees first and demonstrating openness. This thought model demonstrates the ways in which you as a manager can improve your two-way trust and communication. First, remember the phrase, innocent until proven guilty, and apply it to your employees. Trust shouldn't be earned for good behavior. It should be eroded for poor behavior, like I said before. If you as a leader do not trust your employees will not be open to the degree necessary, and as a result, they will not have trust in you. This is where openness comes in as a solution. In the thought model that you see here, the dotted line around the word openness represents that you must actively connect and interact with your employees. But remember, openness isn't just about pushing information down, it's about pulling it up and listening to them. So I would say here you see it goes managers, trust employees. So you trust them first. And then you see this comes down. It's like a little circle here, right? And so it's upward and downward communication. So as you trust, and you're pushing information down, it flows back up. Employees then in turn trust you, right? They then in turn trust you, and it goes back to you. So it's like the circle of life. I'm kidding, but it really is. It's a circle of trust, right? How corny, but it's effective, right? So the key to improving manager relationships is two-way trust. That was fun. Oh, you guys can kind of see it that way. But then then it looks backwards, so never mind. But that was a fun little exercise. So the 3I model, I'm gonna show you another slide in a minute. The 3I model. To earn your employees' trust, you must inform, interact with, and involve them. These are the 3 components of openness. And I wanna show you this one too, if it doesn't look too weird. So, the real question is, how can we create openness? We keep speaking about this openness, but how do we create it? I guess I'll do here until I get up. I'll just move. So the real question is, how do we create openness? We can brainstorm a number of great ideas as a leader. There are a million things you can do to improve employee trust and therefore employee engagement. But there are 3 things that are most important and will have the greatest impact on your employees. So this is talking about leverage the 3 components of openness to inform, interact with, and involve your people. So that's the three components of openness: inform, interact, and involve. You see, when you inform, that was like that circle we talked about. You inform, this goes down, tell people the whys. Sometimes people withhold information, and it's like, it's okay to share. I mean, unless it's confidential, right? But if you can release it, it's okay to share. So you're going to go down the information flow that goes down like that circle of trust we talked about. Tell people the whys. Then we have the connect. That was the circle. Genuinely get to know people, right? This has to be. This can't be forced. You see, everything we're talking about today has to genuinely come from your heart, and it's okay if it doesn't. But knowing this and practicing it, it will develop you as a leader, or it will reveal that you're really not a leader. And let me tell you something. In the day and age where everybody's an entrepreneur, everybody's a leader, everybody's a boss, girl boss, guy boss, whatever the case may be, understand this. There's a body. I'm going back to God. Yes, I am. There's a head, there's a neck, there's a shoulder, there's an arm, there's a fingertip, there's a toe, there's a toenail. All of them function the way they need to function so the body can function as a whole. So if I am not built to be a head, it's okay. It's okay. I may be built to be a neck and guide the head. I may be built to be a hip flexor, and I said that because that's not you know what I'm saying? It could be the most intricate working, the most minuscule, the most whatever the case may be. It's still an important. Try to manage without it. Have you ever stubbed your toe and you couldn't even, your whole balance was off? Stub your toe, your one little pinky toe, okay? Stub that toe and see what happened. I bet you your whole foot, your whole body gonna feel it. So no part is small. You can't look at it where you are less than if you don't have these characteristics. Every person in the body of Christ has a part to play. And you will thrive in the part that you were created for, right? So that's your job, is to really know who you are. When you know who you are, you'll know where you fit, okay? And everybody knows that that's my mantra. And so lastly, when you genuinely get to know people and what their makeup is, what their traits are, then here the information goes up when you involve them and you solicit input from your people, okay? So, next slide, inform. So inform, like we talked about, it means pushing information down. We just went over that, down. However, it's just not enough to just tell employees what is happening. You also need to tell employees the whys, communicate the rationale behind the decisions, priority, and business plan, etc., using the downward communication. Interact. Get my water here, because we at that point. Interacting with people means connecting with people on a personal level. Get to know people. Understand who people are on a personal level and a professional level to the best of your ability, given the circumstances of your organization. So let me tell you, this does not mean getting up in a business, but at the end of the day, if you work with someone, if you have a business and they're coming in every day, you're gonna know if their mom's sick, if their wife's sick, if their husband's sick, right? You're gonna know all of that, and you're gonna, just if their dog may be having, or their kids, whatever the case may be, someone's graduating, it's someone's birthday. You are an extended family when you work with people, right? Your employees are your family. It's your second family. And if you don't have that mindset, I wouldn't want to come work for you. And you will have high turnover, period, right? You can't effectively lead people if you don't know who they are. This transitions them from simply being employees to people. This is human leadership. That's why I said this applies to corporate. This applies to if you're an entrepreneur and have your own business, even if you're a startup. You may not have people working for you right now, but you have the mentality of a leader. You will have a huge staff eventually, okay? And then lastly, involve. It means pulling information up from employees to leadership. Solicit input from your people. Once people are informed, get their input and act on it, okay? If you can't act on it, be sure to close the loop by informing them. See how I'm doing on time. So here's another activity. Again, like I said, I'm not going to have you guys do it. I want you to write it down, and then go do it in your own time. Like I said, all of this will be on miaverde.com, but this is an exercise that we're going to go through as a class here. Discuss why informing people is important and what should be shared. Think of a recent decision that was made, and what information did you share with your people, and what didn't you share, and why? What information did you share with people, and what didn't you? What information should you share with people, and what information should you not share, and why? So that's the exercise I want you guys to do on your own. This is all self-reflective to get you in that leadership mindset, okay? The next thing I want you to do is create personal and professional interactions with your people. You're going to visualize how you can interact and connect with people. Just really, you have to visualize it before you do it. So how can I be more interactive with people on a daily basis, right? And then lastly, what will prevent you from doing this? We just talked about it. This is the 3I model, but what will prevent you from informing, involving, and all of that? What will prevent you from doing that? What concerns do you have about following through with your commitments? And what advice can be offered for that? So this is where, if you don't know something, it's okay not to know what you're going to do and what your plan is. If you found a weakness, if you found a gap, it's about knowing that it exists, and knowing where to get that information, where to get that knowledge, where to get that help, so you'll be better informed going forward, right? And then you'll have a game plan on how to overcome that gap. So next slide would be agile goal setting, and this is more so this company's top 5 initiatives, but this is a great section. This is a great time for you guys to insert your top 5 initiatives. What are your top 5 goals? We are in the 4th quarter. There is time for you to do huge things by the end of the year, okay? And won't you feel good in 2020 if you could get those things accomplished? And maybe it's something that can't be accomplished in 3 months or in the last quarter, but at least if you get it started, even if it's a year, even if it's 5, get it started. And then when 2020 comes, you'll say, oh, I'm so happy I got that started. I've gotten the first portion, I've gotten the ball rolling, whatever the case may be, you've gotten that under your belt. So the top 5 initiative here will be making sure that we focus on respect for people, respect for the product, which would be parts here, is the manufacturing environment. 5S, so for those of you that are not in the automotive industry, 5S is really organization kind of thing. It's really housekeeping, right? So that may be something that, cleanliness is next to godliness, making sure that you clean out your closets for the year, making sure that everything is where it needs to be so you can function. The whole point of it is not just to say I'm neat, not just to not be messy. The whole point of it is to function at optimum level. So if you have everything laid out, it's like when you go to work. I know for me, if I go to work in the morning and I have my outfit, because I'm a boutique owner, y'all, I'm all about fashion. If I don't know what I'm wearing, my day starts with what are you presenting to the world? What are you wearing? That sets my tone. That sets the tone for the day. So what are you wearing? So for me, if I don't have my outfit and shoes and jacket, what I'm wearing for the day, but then if they set out, it sets the tone for a disorganized day. It really does, right? What am I doing? Does my outfit match the activity I'm about to do? So maybe outfit is not your thing. There's something that if you don't have your things organized and everything, so it could be a well-oiled machine and you can get to, the progress, you get that momentum going for the day, then you start spiraling down and everything start unraveling. So that's the idea behind 5S, basically, for those of you who are not in the automotive industry and are not familiar with that. The next thing would be discipline. Any goal that you need to attain is going to take discipline. Any victory, I'm going to go church on any victory, anything that you are trying to conquer, even just being healthy, Lord, even just being healthy, exercising, eating right, all of that, that takes discipline. You're not going to get to where you need to get without discipline. And then lastly, your team. Again, building your team is very important. Becoming a team of one, and that means being in sync, being in alignment. As far as I'm concerned, my team, I'm trying to get in alignment with God, period. And I'll let everything else. So my team, the people that work for me, for the boutique, my staff, making sure that they know the vision and the mission for the boutique, why we exist, and what our goals are for each quarter, okay? So next, you guys see that? Next would be leadership that sets goals with their employees every day can improve employee performance success by 17%. So this is like what I just said. This kind of goes with what I mentioned, making sure that my employees know what the goals are and what our targets are, right? So just having daily meetings with them, making sure that, okay, what's on the agenda for the day, some of the targets that we need to hit for the day, and then what happened yesterday, some of the things, some of the pitfalls, you know, so you want to go through where you can be better, right, and kind of uncover that. So this graph here that you guys can't see, but like I said, it'll be on the website. I'm going to say it a million times in case you just joined. Actually, I'm not, because I'm tired of saying it. This graph indicates that leaders who have daily meetings to set their goals are 17% more successful in terms of employee performance than leaders who set goals annually. Employees who talk to their supervisors every day about setting goals are more likely to know their leaders' priorities. So employees have better information to guide their time investment decisions. Okay? Employee performance success was calculated by, and I won't bore you with that. Actually, I'm going to take that out. All right, so here is, this slide is necessary to refrain from the way that you understand goals to see how agile and short-term goal setting fit into your work environment, okay? Let's review different types of goals and make sure we have the same way of thinking when it comes to goal setting. So how would you describe or define each goal type? So if you can see, this kind of just goes through this is giving you an example of how to set these goals, because this section is called Agile Goal Setting. And what Agile Goal Setting really means is, Agile means being able to adapt to change quickly, right? Being able to acquiesce to each specific situation. So I may have long-term goals, short-term goals. My head's in the way. You can't see it. Right? Long-term goals, short-term goals, daily tasks, all planned out. But if something shifts, your agile goal your agile goal will be you adjusting to whatever shifts. Okay, if that makes sense. So for long-term goals, we have some examples here. These are targeted objectives that can be achieved in a fiscal quarter or up to several years. Short-term goals, targeted objectives that can be achieved in a day or in up to 1 month. Specific activities to be carried out in order to, your task would be specific activities to be carried out in order to accomplish a given goal. And then your agile will be the concept of being flexible and responsive to change and uncertainty, okay? So we have another group activity here. How can you apply agile goal setting to your current work environment, okay? So when you guys get some time on your own, come up with your long-term, short-term, and your daily goals. And then how would you acquiesce? Kind of go through and say, what could go wrong here? And you're not going to be able to foresee everything that goes wrong, but you kind of know maybe some things that might prohibit, and then create some agile goals to say, if that goes wrong, I'm going to counter that. I'm going to counteract that with this action. And this is all to help better set you up for success, okay? Please note, your goals should motivate you personally as well as align you with your, they should motivate you personally as well as align with the company goals and initiatives. Okay, let me see. Are we doing good on time? Okay. We almost there, guys. Thank you guys for being on. So in order to successfully adopt a mindset of accountability, it's important too. So now we're getting into the mindset of accountability. And I want to maybe change that and do a better intro. Better transition. In order to successfully adopt a mindset of accountability, it's important to distinguish between team and individual accountability. So, I own my business, I own my boutique, and what differentiates me being accountable for the entire team, the entire outcome of our sales, of our product, of all the things that you expect from a retailer, right? But what's the difference between that and the accountability of the joint accountability and responsibility of my employees, of my sales staff, of my order processors and all that kind of thing, and my customer service reps? So there's a difference there. So because as a leader, I just can't be like, well, you didn't do your job, therefore I didn't hit my sales goal for the day or for the month, period. Either way, week, month, day, I still have to take on the overall accountability, but the responsibility would be those that I give the people that work for me. Okay, so that's the distinguishing factor between that. You're going to understand the element of control next, and then we're going to avoid the tendency to assign blame, as I just explained. All right, so what is personal accountability? High accountability individuals, they tell the truth even when it doesn't serve them. So again, that's being selfless, making sure that you can be trusted, right? Take responsibility for outcomes, both positive and negative. Never make excuses or place blame. Establish clear expectations for themselves and their team members. Embrace change as the path to excellence. Honor commitments to themselves and others. Seek out both positive and negative feedback. You want to learn how to be progressive in life, please learn how to accept criticism. And it's not going to always come wrapped up in a bow. Thank you for the hearts, guys. I always forget to tell people to do hearts, but I thank you so much. It's not going to come always wrapped up in a bow. It's not. It's not going to come wrapped up in nice and gentle for your ego to be able to digest it, if that. Sometimes it comes hard at you. Period. Sometimes it breaks your little heart, and sometimes it hurts your little feelings. But at the end of the day, it makes you better. It makes you better. It makes you stronger, and it makes you move forward. And if you are smart, you guys will learn how to do that. I'm going to see if I can plug up my phone real quick. One moment. Plug up. I knew that was going to happen. I should have plugged it up first. Oh, there we go. I want y'all to be crooked. All right. Good. You should be good. Okay. So what is personal accountability anyway? It's about following through on your commitments and taking responsibility for outcomes like we just discussed, okay? So let's review some characteristics of highly accountable individuals. And these are the things I just went through. You know, honoring commitments to themselves and others, seeking both positive and negative feedback. So I won't go back over everything, but these are some of the characteristics of that, okay? In addition to individual accountability, joint or shared accountability is also important to understand. Like I said, it's the difference between me saying, as an owner of my boutique, of Mia Verde Boutique, I am accountable for the whole shebang. Okay, so if it fails, if it wins, if it's horrible, if we never have anything, if we have bad quality, whatever the case may be, I'm responsible. I'm ultimately accountable for that and responsible. But at the end of the day, my team is also, they have some joint accountability, but because I assign them responsibilities for the day or for the week or for the month, they have goals, and as an employee with the position that they hold, those are their responsibilities. So this goes into their personal goals and their personal definitions of success and hitting their KPIs and targets and things like that, okay? All right, so understand Sometimes it seems like my head makes, you know what, I think I'm blocking the light or something. But like I said, slideshow will be up to the one we'll say no more. Understand the distinct characteristics of individual versus team accountability. So it is important to hold individuals accountable for their outputs, but what about teams? Being held accountable to and with your peers is a catalyst for motivating performance. A team is collectively accountable for a goal or outcome, and when team members are fully committed and individually accountable, the team is strengthened and better able to work at their full potential. It's important that teams see the link between their goals and that of the organization. So I talked about this earlier, making sure that your goals are in alignment with the organization you work with, or if you own a business, making sure that the people that work for you, that their goals are in line with your business goals that you set for your business, right? Each team member must be accountable for their own individual performance as contribution to the collective efforts of the team as a whole. However, in team settings, it is sometimes difficult to identify individual contributions and performance. I don't agree with that also, because I feel like yes, it can be difficult, it can be challenging, but it is your you have to do your due diligence as a owner, as a leader, to make sure that you have measurables set to be able to assess performance, right? So that's where that comes in. And to me, once you do that, ain't no gray. It's black and white, baby. So, even though individuals should be held accountable for their individual contributions within the team as a whole ultimately shares accountability of final outcomes. So it's just really getting larger and larger and larger. If I hold myself accountable for my own goals, for my own targets, for my own daily things that I need to hit, then I can control that scenario within my wheelhouse. And then as a team, we control it. Then as an organization, so it just keeps getting bigger and bigger, and it falls under, the umbrella has tiers kind of thing, and it's a tier of success, basically. All right, that's kind of long. What slide was that? 34. All right. Oh yeah, that's the plant floor out there, y'all. Here they out there doing what they do. All right, so we're almost done. We got a few slides left, guys. I think it's going well. Hopefully you guys are getting something from this. If you came in the middle, like I said, this broadcast will be up for you on the replay to listen to or watch. And then the slides, I know you can't really see them, so I'm going to put them on the website, NiaRelay.com, okay? All right, so employees should not be held accountable for things they have no control over. This slide is for you to factor in the elements of control and understand how it impacts personal accountability, okay? So you'll see here, let's go over the slide. Let's make you see it better when I do that. You'll see here, accountability plus control equals motivation and personal accountability. You'll see here, accountability, and then they have no control, so that's minus control, chaos and disengagement, okay? So that's where we go. Employees should not be held accountable for things they have no control over, as it will cause chaos and disengagement. For example, it would be unreasonable to hold an employee accountable for not making production if the operator hasn't been properly trained, right? So if you have your own business, you can say you can't hold, if you didn't properly train your employee, then it's very hard to hold them accountable for something that they haven't been trained in. This would be considered out of their control, correct? When employees feel that they have no control over their work or their outcomes, they fall into the victim role. Some things you may hear which indicate this, and these are signs that they are falling into this mode, would be there's nothing that I can do, I have no choice, I wish it was different, the circumstances, whether it be the weather, people, oh, it was raining outside, I couldn't get there, oh, our sales are down because it's raining. I don't play them games. No, we're okay, it's raining, let's have a rainy day sale. Let's do something, to counter whatever is happening, right? That these are the agile goal settings that we talked about. However, Employees often do have more control than they think, and this is what I was just talking about. You have to find different methods depending on what the situation is, and you have to adjust to those situations. It is important to work with your employees, but everyone doesn't necessarily always, they don't come out the gate with this mentality. So it's your job as a leader, as a manager, supervisor, business owner, you're still somebody's boss. It's your job to instill that and keep working and training and getting that culture changed, right? To instill that mindset in your team. So once you teach them how to deal with factors out of their control, and even more importantly, identify and manage what they do have control over, then they'll be better off for it. When employees embrace their personal accountability, you'll hear things like, what can I do here? Am I responsible, or I am responsible? I choose, yada, yada, yada. Now they're taking that ownership that they're choosing to do something different. And then, what is my part in this? So you're looking for that ownership, and that's when you know they're starting to get it. Okay, so the next slide is desert the tendency to assign blame or make excuses and own all the outcomes. So when accountability is truly entrenched in the organization, employees at all levels take ownership of the positive, negative, and neutral outcomes. So this is the goal, guys. Everybody taking accountability, saying, nope, it was my fault, I take it, whatever. If it's a success, if it's a team, if we win as a team, right? We win as a team. It's not, well, I told him how to do that, or yeah, I'm the one that, it's because of me if I wasn't here. That's not the character of a leader. It's not. Okay? When outcomes are unfavorable, it is easy to assign blame to various internal or external factors. You may hear, I didn't have enough time, I wasn't provided with what I needed in time, we're in a recession. That would be a big one for the booth. We're in a recession for anything that you have in sales, etc. It's also very important to realize accountability is not an opportunity to identify which employee dropped the ball. So we're not looking to point a finger here. Using accountability as means for finger pointing will actually cause disengagement and limit innovation, because ultimately it is you as a leader who is responsible. In today's world, there is always risk. There is no innovation without risk, period. So you risk nothing, you gain nothing, period. And therefore, it is extremely important not to use accountability for identifying who to punish. When mistakes are made, true accountability is how we recover from it. There needs to be a culture of psychological safety where employees feel comfortable in taking accountability. This will also encourage them to feel comfortable taking risk. If they think, well, I'm gonna lose my job, or I know this person, I know my boss is going to, you as a manager, leader, whatever, if they know that you're gonna ream them or rip them a new one, I'm not trying nothing, because I'm not about to hear your mouth. I'm just going to stay in my lane, do the bare minimum, and make sure I don't mess up on that. And you don't want that. So it's really up to you to control that, okay? That was 37. All right, we got about 5 slides left. Yep. All right. So, as leadership, your accountability for effectively role modeling the desired behaviors. You're accountable for effectively role modeling the desired behaviors. And let's look at what these desired behaviors are. Understanding your goals and objectives. So this is the middle, which is your accountability. It'll be understanding the goals and objectives. Exchange feedback. So again, it goes into that communication wheel. Champion initiative. Taking ownership, and adapting behaviors, okay? So that's the chart there. Potential barriers to instilling a mindset of accountability within your teams. So these are some of the potential barriers here. We have behaviors aren't being effectively demonstrated from the top down. Accountability isn't linked to performance management practices. Punitive actions are taken following poor outcomes. So again, this usually comes with the blame. Well, somebody's going to be punished for what just happened, right? And we don't want to do that. Tendency to assign blame, again, or make excuses. Low level of coaching and mentoring, again, out of their control. If your employee has never been coached or mentored on how to handle the specific situation that has been a failure or a mistake or whatever, then that still falls back on you as a leader, as an owner. You are accountable for that. So how will you ensure that these barriers will not hinder you or your team from accepting accountability? So here, this is where you take ownership and say, how am I going to make sure that I don't do these things, that list of things that I just went over? How are you going to take the responsibility and say, I don't want this to happen to my team? So again, this is not something that you may be able to answer immediately, all in one day, any of that, but I want you guys to reflect. Like I said, I'll probably be back on maybe live tonight or something like that, and then we'll just maybe go over. I want to give you guys some time to really reflect and watch this. Thanks for the hearts, love, and really kind of say, how can I apply this? If you are not in a leadership role at your job, maybe you have an entrepreneurial heart and you are working on your own business, right? If you're working on your own business, this still applies to you. This still applies to you. It's people management, period. You may not have people that work for you right now, but you're going to get there. You're going to be successful and you're going to get there. And you still have to manage people. Leadership is not a title. It's not about the title you have. So even if you don't own anything, even if you're not a manager or a supervisor, you still have to manage your relationships from a peer standpoint. And you can be a leader of your peers. You ever had that informal leader who, if there was a team of people, you all work, you all have the same title, or you're all equal, level positions, but there's always that one person that everybody goes to, even though they don't get paid more or any of that, but there's that one person, I call it the informal leader, because they've displayed those characteristics. They really want to help. They really are there to get the ball rolling and help you as a person and help the team. And you go to them and they don't ask for anything in return, they just want to help. You need to be that person. That's what this is about. So you can apply this regardless of where you are, but I guarantee you, if you apply this, it will get you to the next level. And then we have our summary here. So to recap what we just went over the last hour. I did it in about an hour, guys, so that's pretty good. To recap, define the first step which you need to do in leadership is define what success means to you personally. Okay, what are your goals? What does success mean to you? Not based on society, not based on your family, not based on, just what does success truly mean to you in your heart, right? What makes a leader different is your heart and your passion for the people you are leading and why you are leading them. 3, leadership character is the heart of leadership. And I'm going to get y'all that book right after I do this slide. You're going to hunger for wisdom. Remember, expect the best, accept responsibility, respond with courage, and think others first. Next, you're going to focus on building trust with the people around you for effectiveness. Set your goals for yourself and your team every day. And lastly, you're going to adapt a mindset of accountability. So those are the fundamentals of leadership. The book that I referenced, that is an awesome book, is called The Heart of Leadership. It is by Mark Miller. It was published in 2013, but it's on, you can get it from iBooks or Audible, or you can get the hard copy. Whatever it is, it's everywhere, y'all. It's an awesome book. Check it out. The Heart of Leadership by Mark Miller. I love that book. I was exposed to that book in ministry class when I was being trained for ministry. And so the best thing that ever happened to me, that book is awesome. So hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. But this whole presentation and this whole broadcast will be up, of course, on Periscope, and it will be on the website, miaverde.com. So we will see you guys later. Have a great day, guys. Be productive. Be a leader, okay? I forgot. I ain't been on here so long. I forgot how to end it, y'all.